Greetings, everyone. This is Jeff Schechter, aka Shecky, and Nick Bridges coming to you from the bunker at Black Box Social Media. And today we are going to talk about how to build a profitable sales funnel in just 4 easy steps. So here's the big question that I have for you. Are your ad campaigns creating consistent, repeatable, and predictable profits? Now, what you're going to learn today in the next few minutes is how to improve your ad results by 2 to 5 times without changing your ads, and how you can own your own marketing list, and how you can generate solid recurring income, how to fund your entire ad costs, and even the real story behind the George Foreman grill. So here we go. Just let's everybody get going. Turn off your phone, close the door, close out of Facebook, grab a notepad because we've got a lot of stuff we want to cover. Now, your instructors are myself, but I also want to introduce Nick Bridges, who's the CTO of Black Box. Nick, would you just say hi and introduce yourself and give us a minute or so about your background?
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Shecky. So I'm one of the co-founders over here at Black Box and Social Media Ad Genius. We started this company a little over 4 years ago. But before that, I've done a lot of internet marketing for additional companies and have been building funnels both in social media and just through conventional methods, sales funnels over the last probably 10 years or so. So got a lot of experience working on profitable sales funnel, not only for our business, but for a lot of our clients. And I've been the behind the scenes guy for that time in Black Box and doing that for our business while Kurt is out doing the social media ad genius stuff. So but glad to be here, Shecky. Glad to be working with you, and hopefully I can add a little bit as you're going through.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And many of you know me as well. My name is Jeff Schechter. Everybody calls me Shecky, and I am the baby boomer without any technical experience, and I am the training and coaching director at Black Box Social Media. And I originally got started by just actually being a frustrated network marketer looking for a way to get leads and sales online, and eventually turned to internet marketing and struggled for many, many years, and after a while started figuring things out, and once I did, ultimately came to work with the guys at Black Box, and it's just been really, really a wonderful experience. So I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about us because we got a lot of training to cover, so let's just jump right into it. So the issue that we see is that most of our students think that their problem is a lack of traffic. But honestly, that's not really the case. It's really ROI. Most of them are struggling to convert their traffic into leads and sales that generate a return on investment. And why is this happening? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One is they don't really have a way to send qualified traffic to their offer, and that's what we cover in Social Media Ad Genius. But the bigger issue is that they don't have a system to warm up their audience, address their real needs, and provide solutions for those needs. So a few questions for you. Have you ever said any of the following? I get leads, but they don't translate into sales. Or people don't do anything after clicking on my ads. I have a successful fan page, but I just don't make any sales from it. I have an amazing idea, but I don't know how to sell it online. So if you answered yes to any of those questions, I want to assure you, you are not alone. So, and if so, then this training is for you. So you're definitely in the right place. Now, our promise to you is you're going to learn an easy 4-step plan for turning your traffic into raving fans and rabid customers. So first of all, before we get into it, let's just define what a sales funnel is. Well, very simply, it's just a process whereby your traffic is taken through a system of events designed to maximize leads and sales. Now, the 4 easy steps that we cover, that we're going to cover today, is very simple. Number 1, we're going to lay the foundation. Then we're going to build out the funnel. Then we're going to continue the conversation. Then we're going to optimize the funnel. It's that simple. So let's get into it. So in step 1, we're laying the foundation. Now, the first thing that you want to do is define your avatar. Now, what is an avatar? It's really your ideal customer. It's someone that's going to have the strongest relationship to your message, and one in which when you put an offer in front of them, it just totally appears to be, an elegant solution, right? It's just something that's absolutely perfect for them. So the one thing that you really must get dialed in is what's their problem. Like, what's the kind of stuff that keeps your avatar up at night? And a little clue about this is you may want to start thinking in terms of pleasure and pain. So when you start thinking about how can you move this perfect customer either towards their pleasure or away from their pain. And a little clue here, the reason there's a little X2 down at the bottom of this screen is people's motivation to move away from pain is twice as strong as their motivation to move towards pleasure. So just keep that in mind. Next thing we want to do is decide on the pieces that we're going to put in our funnel, right? So at minimum, we have to have a lead capture, we have to have follow-up, and we have to have the deliverables. So that's really it for the foundation, other than knowing that you also have to use the right tools. Like in our shop, we use Lead Pages, which is a very wonderful system for generating web pages on the fly. And it's all the different kind of web pages that we ever need with all the templates. It's super easy to use, don't have to be technical. We use Google Drive often to present files to people, and we do use Aweber for an autoresponder. So again, autoresponder is just a fancy name for an email delivery system that allows you to send pre-written messages in sequence to your prospects. So that's it for laying the foundation. We've got everything kind of figured out. We'll move to step 2, where we actually start working on the build. So let's talk about your lead magnet, right? So the first thing you want to do here is create your lead magnet. Now, what is a lead magnet? Essentially, it's an ethical bribe. So what is it that you can provide your ideal customer that has high perceived value, it's easily consumable, and really solves their biggest problem? So you've seen these before. You've probably opted in for many lead magnets yourself. It could comprise just about any different kind of format. Here's some of the common ones. You might see a free report. You might see an ebook. You might see a free trial, and sometimes that's samples or toolkits, or even an audio or video training. And again, you want to match this to your avatar because different types are going to appeal to different types of consumers. So you want to use what's going to resonate the best with your audience. Next thing you want to do is build your landing page, right? So what that does is it offers your lead magnet in exchange for your avatar's contact information, right? Your lead magnet, again, being that ethical bribe. Now, the landing page is also sometimes known as the squeeze page or the opt-in page, is because that's where you're squeezing their email or you're getting them to opt in for your information. Now, a couple of landing page rules. Number 1, you absolutely must have a compelling headline. You also must have your call to action. The call to action is the thing that says, click here, do this, or yes, give me my free report. That's your call to action. Has to appear above the fold. Now, what does above the fold mean? It just means simply that in the terms of your screen, it's like an old newspaper term that meant that you could always see the ad even when the newspaper was still sitting on the rack. So in this case, it means that the call to action is visible even before somebody has scrolled on their screen, okay? And then lastly, the 10-foot rule means that when you walk away and stand like way back, and you're looking at 10 feet away from your computer screen, it's still very obvious what they're supposed to do on that page is. Now, we teach 14 different rules to our coaching and consulting clients. We're just kind of giving you the highlights today. So here's the next thing you want to do is write the actual copy for your landing page. And it's really pretty simple. I mean, you need a headline, you need a subheadline, and you need the text that's going to go over the button. So you just write those super quick. Now here's the other thing that you want to do is then write your follow-up copy. So in addition to your landing page, you want to create the copy for your thank you page. That's the page that they will see right after they opt in. And you want to write the copy for your first email. And again, I want to remind you that your messaging really needs to be congruent with your advertising and also be appealing to that demographic of your avatar. So what I mean by that is you want to be speaking in terms of the language that your avatar would typically speak in their normal, everyday type of jargon. Now, some secrets to good copy, right? Many of you know this term. This is called ADA. That means attention, interest, desire, action. And it's an old advertising term that's been used for a really, really long time. And it's a really, really good formula to use anytime you are writing copy. So even within this particular training that we're doing, if you look carefully, you'll see ADA being used. In many emails, in many sales pages, you'll see it. So I'd encourage you to study ADA, look at some copywriting books, and start following other people that you know create good copy because it rubs off. And if you have any kind of a writing ability at all, it will rub off rather quickly, especially when you know your avatar really well and know exactly who you're speaking to. So that's basically the build out. We're now moving to step 3. So we've got the funnel pieces put together now. Now we want to continue this conversation, right? So this is an interesting point because you really want to start communicating on a regular basis with your leads. And the best way to do that is with email marketing. And honestly, even though email is one of sort of the granddaddies and it's kind of old school, this is still far and away the most effective way to keep engaged with your audience online, right? And everybody talks about low open rates and all this other kind of stuff, but I want to put things in perspective for you. Let's look at it in terms of Facebook because that's an environment that we're all very active in. So on Facebook, you go and pay money to have likes come to your fan page, and then you pay money again every time you want to communicate with those people that are fans. And honestly, just because somebody liked your page, it was a micro commitment, but they didn't even give you their email address. So, every time you want to communicate with them, you're paying Facebook. Well, that's like renting that list that's not even as responsive. When you put something in front of somebody, a lead magnet, and they actually have to give you their email address in order to get that, and you're communicating with them continually, appearing in their inbox. Once you've captured that email, you own that email as part of your own marketing list. That's ownership. That's building equity. That's an asset for your business. I don't know necessarily that I would actually call a fan page an asset. I mean, it might be able to be called that, but I look at it as owning versus renting. There's a pretty big difference. Now, let's talk about the sequence of things that you have to put together in this autoresponder, in your emails, right? So just to catch you up, somebody's opted in, they've gotten you've gotten their email address. Now the first thing you have to do is prime them, right? So you want to deliver the lead magnet. You want to make sure that they get whatever it is that you promise them. You want to set their expectations, and you want to provide additional value. Next, you're going to move towards your selling phase. This is where you have the ability to tell stories of people with similar problems. You want to create an emotional situation where they have something to relate to. So you want to introduce your product as the main solution to their problem. And again, you always want to have more value. You want to continue to provide additional insights. And again, that's very, very easy to do with storytelling. In phase 3, you're going to move to the engagement phase. And this is where you're continuing to send emails. You're building rapport and trust. You're offering even more additional insights and potentially also providing additional solutions, which, by the way, could also be other opportunities for you to make money by providing these additional solutions. Now, best practices for email, there's just some good rules of thumb that you want to follow. Don't use naked links. In other words, you always want to use anchor text, and that means that, like words like click here rather than the actual link that says http:// right? Don't use attachments because the spam police on the autoresponders will pick that up and you'll have really hard issues with deliverability. Keep your subject lines short and interesting, right? So the more curiosity that you can create, the more you're going to have a chance of people opening your emails. And you also want to use open loops. So, what is an open loop? An open loop just means that it's like a cliffhanger. In other words, a very common open loop is if you watch like a television show, and right when something really interesting is about to happen, they cut to commercial. Well, our brains are wired in such a way that that kind of stuff drives us crazy, right? So we have to scratch the itch. We have to find out what happens next, right? And it's extremely effective for getting people to pay attention to what you're doing, right? So I want to just give you this is a real interesting thing that happened in our shop when we originally did the live webinar for this. The subject line was the George Foreman taco maker. And we talked about, what it was and how it was a complete failure. And we sent out this email, and there was an open loop in the email that said, hey, you want to find out about it, come to this webinar. Well, it's really interesting to read what one of our email respondents wrote back to us. They clicked on the reply button, and they said, this just made me angry because I'm busy and decided to open this email anyway and start reading it. And then it turns out to be a cliffhanger that requires more action. If you'd given me the George Foreman marketing secret, I would have been much more likely to click on your links and see what you were about. So this is it's kind of funny. It's just like living proof that people can't stand this kind of stuff. They have to see what's next. So just kind of get in the habit of doing that. And then in step 4, now we've kind of got everything built. We've got emails written. We know how to sell people through our sequence. How do we maximize? How do we optimize what's going on? Well, the first thing you want to do is begin split testing. So split testing is just a method of conducting controlled experiments where you have the goal of improving your conversions or clicks or anything like that. In other words, for example, you might split test a headline. Does this headline work better than the other one? Well, once you know that one headline gets more clicks and more click-throughs, then you know that that one is the one you're going to be using. And then you'd split test a new one. You can split test pictures. You can split test, calls to action. There's all kinds of things that you can test. But the good news is there's always room to improve your results. Well, how do you know results that you're getting? Well, you actually have to know your analytics. And analytics is really just a fancy word for your statistics. So things that you're going to look at is how many times people click on your offer, how many times they click through, how many times they give you their email address, and what are those percentages in relation to the whole. Anytime you are improving, you are making more money. So this knowledge is power, and it's actually, I know this graph looks a little bit, crazy, but at the end of the day, it really is just simple math. To a certain extent, there are 5 or 6 really important metrics that are worth following, but if you know your analytics, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to be successful in your online marketing. Once you get that pretty much dialed in, it's just a matter of wash, rinse, and repeat. So you're just going to continue running traffic to your funnel, you're going to optimize for conversions, and you're going to repeat. It's really pretty simple once you have the process built. Now, sometimes that's difficult for people to get it all built, but once you get it built, it becomes pretty simple. Now, the other thing that you can also do, which is really cool, is on what we would call the back end, further down the email sequence, you can create additional monetization streams. So what does that look like? Well, that could be upsell offers to your original offer, whether that's do it yourself, do it with you, or do it for you. You can create continuity programs. Sometimes people call those, membership programs. You can have affiliate offers or JV partnerships. And typically, these are products or trainings or things of high value that your avatar would also appreciate in solving their problems in addition to the stuff that you offered them initially. It's sort of congruent or something similar. In other words, for example, if you were, let's say, in the baby diaper business and you were selling them diapers, they might also be interested in strollers. Okay, so there's always opportunity to have extra monetization. Now, why do you want to do that? Well, because you want to get to a point where you have a self-funded proposal. And what does that mean? Well, it's just a fancy word that allows you to pay for all of your ad costs with other items that are not yours. So wouldn't it be great to be in a situation where the additional monetization strategies that you employed on the back end made you enough money to cover all of your ad costs so that every time you sell one of your own products, it's 100% profit. So that's really what a self-funded proposal is, right? And that's the area that we want to get to, and that's the way that we guide our students to think. So let's just recap real quickly what we've learned. First of all, we want to identify our customer and their pain points. We want to then go ahead and create a lead magnet, an opt-in page, and a delivery system. Then through email, we're going to communicate that solution and make sales. Then we're going to track all of our results, adjust, tweak, split test, and optimize for further profits. That is the entire 4-part system. Very, very straightforward. So now the rest of the story, because there's been a lot of conversation around here the last couple of weeks about George Foreman, and it's really interesting because this thing sold something like, I don't know, 100 million units. I mean, it was some unbelievable number, but for the longest time, it was not doing well. And it was a situation where George actually got this thing from his lawyer, stuck it in the closet, didn't really do anything about it, right? Then his wife actually found it and kind of liked it and said, oh, this was pretty good. So they started realizing, George said, okay, well, if my wife likes it, yeah, I'll go ahead and endorse it. So then they go full bang with it, and it's still not selling anything because they were marketing it to housewives, right? Because they thought, well, George's wife liked it, so all the other wives might have liked it. But here's what they were doing. A lot of the promotion surrounding it at the time was using boxing and George just pummeling people as a way, to sell a grill. Well, housewives are not really interested in boxing for the most part. I'm sure there's some exceptions. But so they were using we talked earlier about this congruency of messaging. There was not enough congruency in the messaging. They were having a really hard time selling it to housewives. Well, then, just by fluke, somebody on the marketing team took a look at it and said, hey, this is pretty simple, and it drips things away. Like, I bet bachelors would really like this. It just makes things super easy. So they decided to start marketing more towards bachelors. They changed, rather than changing their messaging, they actually changed their avatar to match the messaging that they had already created. So again, it was just a simple test. And that was the beginning of one of the most successful products of all time, home products. I mean, they've sold something like 100 million units and counting, and it's still going strong. So again, the lesson there is just to understand that matching a message to an avatar, solving that avatar's problem, is the key. Once you know how to do that and communicate clearly with that avatar, the rest is gold for you. Okay, so now you've learned all the steps today to building a successful sales funnel, right? I mean, we learned 4 steps today, and I want to offer you an alternative. So how can you take the information that we've shared today and have a very profitable and professional funnel in a very, very short period of time? Okay, well, I want to introduce to you a very, very special process that we have called FunnelShop. And what FunnelShop is a complete step-by-step coached and supervised build-out of your own sales funnel. So we'll be there every step of the way. And what it is a very, very special 4-week program. You join us each week for a live training webinar, and that typically happens on a weekday night, and then each Friday for a special Q&A session, lunch and learn. So what you get to work with us. We do 4 live trainings, 4 live Q&As, and we have a member center in the back with all the additional trainings and resources and everything is available for you. So here's just some of the things that we cover in FunnelShop. Obviously, we work with you on helping you identify your best avatar, on helping you set up your lead pages, on helping you decide and create a lead magnet, on all your copywriting, on all your additional monetization strategies, all your analytics and split testing, and just as importantly, all your email follow-up sequences. So who is this really for? Well, essentially, if you are results focused and you're an entrepreneur that realizes the time and money, then this is for you. And a lot of the people that we've worked for, just to give you some idea, they're people in direct sales, they have brick and mortar businesses, they're in online marketing, they do e-commerce, they do consulting. So if you are in any one of these, this is for you. Now, what FunnelShop is not, I just want to be clear, this is not another do-it-yourself program, okay? And just as importantly, on the opposite side of the spectrum, it's not a full done-for-you solution either where you don't learn anything. This is that hybrid, this is the best of all worlds, okay? So what this does is it leverages our years of experience in testing so that we personally assist you in developing your own highly effective sales funnel. So it's like you're working directly with us in doing this, and it all happens in just 4 weeks. Now, what I mean, it's not 4 weeks from now, it's 4 weeks total that the entire FunnelShop creation happens. So it happens very, very quickly. It's a very immersive product. So if you're like most folks that are watching this presentation and you're 100% ready for a real solution to converting your traffic into customers, here is exactly everything that you're going to receive, right? So you've got 4 live FunnelShop webcasts that are all recorded, by the way. You have 4 live Q&A sessions that we call Lunch and Learn. The biggest issue is that you have direct access to your instructors. We are always available there to guide you and to help you along the way. Important supplemental training videos, documents, homework, checklists, all kinds of resources to make sure that you get through this process cleanly and efficiently and with full working knowledge about how to operate everything. All right, so just to give you some idea, FunnelShop alumni, this was a guy named Tommy Pick, who's a financial advisor. This is what he had to say. FunnelShop training far exceeded all of my expectations. Taking this class is an absolute no-brainer for anyone involved in digital marketing. Thanks, Shecky and Nick. So just to give you some idea, this is a look inside the back office of FunnelShop. So first of all, you're going to see all the training week modules. So eventually, obviously, there'll be 4 of them there because every time we deliver a live class, we then record it and put it in the back office. We also create a lot of supplemental video training, and sometimes that's even a result of students asking a particular question or they need a little bit of extra help on just the exact mouse clicks or toggles, and we'll put together another training video. And then all kinds of extra links and resources and checklists and all the little, special formulas that we use to write ad copy and all the little templates and all the tools and things that we do to crank out successful sales funnels. We will make that all available to you. Now, here's the schedule for FunnelShop, just to give you some idea of what happens and how fast things move over 4 weeks. So in week 1, and this follows pretty closely to the stuff that we just covered in the training, but we're going to help you identify your real customer, and we're going to learn all about the components of the funnel so that we understand how to put them together. By the time we get to week 2, we're learning how to write headlines that convert. We're learning how to create lead magnets that attract your ideal avatar and how to use all the systems to construct your funnel. By week 3, we're learning how to communicate and follow up, and we're writing all the email follow-up sequences, as well as learning all the best practices and optimizing for deliverability and open rates. And then by week 4, we're doing all the split testing, analytics, and optimization so you can have peak performance. So by the time you get done with 4 weeks, not only do you have a working funnel, but you have something that you understand, something that you have the ability to test, and something that you have the ability to improve. And further, if you wanted to build another funnel from there, you'd have all the tools and all the knowledge that you needed to do that. So that's very straightforward. Now, even though, you may know this already, but there are professionally built funnels that can take months and cost upwards of $50,000 to have built. But if you want to become part of FunnelShop, you are not going to pay anywhere near that. And you probably are aware too that most coaching programs cost $5,000 to $10,000 just to have some guru send you a couple of emails, right? But we're going to guide you, we're going to critique you, we're going to help you every single step of the way. Normally, FunnelShop sells by itself for $14.97, but that price is not for you, and I'm going to explain why in just a minute. So this particular FunnelShop, we actually have some very, very special bonuses for you. Nick went out and contracted with a professional copywriter, and this is a guy who I cannot mention his name. We were sworn to secrecy, but he commands some very, very high dollars. And special for this class, he actually wrote some email templates for us that we are going to share with the class. So in other words, that whole series that we talked about, that three-phase series that we talked about 15 minutes ago in the training, that whole sequence is actually covered where you can just plug in your own information. Next, we also find that the students do better when they see an actual case study happening. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new offer from start to finish, and we're going to use that as an example through the entire FunnelShop and build things out in front of you so you can look at this as an example. And most importantly, what we're also doing is we're operating a private Facebook group. Now, this is beyond just, an email support system. In Facebook, when you have a private group, every bit of conversation is searchable by keyword. And Nick and I and Kurt will be monitoring the Facebook group. If you have a question at any time, you have a sticking point at any time, you don't have to wait for the Q&A session on Friday. You can post your question, you can post your emails, you can post homework, you can post ideas of headlines, you can post ideas of lead pages, squeeze pages, lead magnets, whatever it is that you've got a question about, we will critique and help and give feedback all along the way at any time. So can you see how this could really help you accelerate your learning curve? I mean, just a lot of stuff there. So 100% support, right? So this is kind of what the Facebook group looks like. I mean, everybody's been on Facebook, they know what it is. So, but just to give you some idea of people posting homework, I just wanted you to see this. But again, 100% support. You're never going to be left hanging with any kind of question. And that's really the key to moving forward through all this. So even without all these bonuses, FunnelShop's really a steal at $14.97. And of course, if you bought the bonuses along with FunnelShop, your cost would be over $3,400. But that's not for you because we've got a much better deal headed your way. So by all means, keep watching. Now, you could end up spending 10, 20, or even 100 times more than the investment you'll make today in FunnelShop in wasted ad spend to a funnel that does not convert, right? Or you could just get frustrated, throw your hands up in the air, say it's too much, and do nothing. And we both know that neither of those appear to be a very, very good solution. So let's just make it a very easy decision for you today, okay? So, you're online, you're watching this video, and you really have to have this part of your marketing done and done right. So our classes typically fill up from our coaching calls, but the reason we're presenting this now is we happen to have a very few spots left in this upcoming class, and that's why we're offering this webinar-only offer to you. So when you enroll today, you'll build your funnel with us, and we'll include the over $2,000 in bonuses for only $997. So a complete coached and supervised program for under $1,000. Click on the link below to begin your enrollment. Now, I wanted to just play for you a brief audio that we have from Jack Gibson. And Jack Gibson is a guy who went through our last FunnelShop. Here we go. All right, I just want you to hear this real quick.
Of course, you're going to be really focusing in on building out your sales funnel. And for me, I was a total rookie. I'd never built out any type of opt-in page. I've never collected an email address. I've been a very, very successful business owner in MLM for 17 years. And I've never done anything like what you guys taught. And I feel like once I got through that class, like I just had this whole epiphany that I'm doing really good with like knowing 10% of the total marketing picture. Like it just really opened my eyes, and I just had this incredible awareness after going through it. And I would say, just the step by step, holding my hand throughout building out the whole funnel, how to write, good effective email copy, how to, having you look through my lead page and, critique it and give me suggestions, and all of the things that people get really like kind of stuck on when they go to try to do this on their own, and then they stop. And then oftentimes we stop and we just get frustrated, and we don't go back and pursue it. Like we just go on and go back to our regular habits of what we did before. Well, you guys help us keep breaking through those frustrations, sticking points quickly, effectively, so that we can get this funnel skill built and acquired, so that we could build out the right funnel and attract the right people. So I'd say everybody, if you've done traffic school, you have to do the FunnelShop program. It is a huge value. So.
Okay, thank you so much, Jack. All right, so just to review, here's everything that you were going to get with FunnelShop, right? So we're doing 4 live webcasts. This is the classes where we take you through everything, and then after the live class, it's the recordings put in your back office. We then do 4 live Q&As where we're going to go over our case studies. We're going to review all the students and what they're doing. Any questions that any of the students have, we're not only answering them, but again, recording them, showing screenshots. Direct access to your instructors. Any questions about anything, we're always there for you. All the supplemental training videos that we put together, all the extra documents, all the extra other resources, plus all of the bonuses, including the private Facebook group. So there's just a ton of stuff for you. Now, Nick, I know you're on the line, and we've got a bunch of common questions that people have asked typically before coming into our previous class. And we don't do these very often, so this may be one of maybe 2 of these funnel shops that we do all year. So I know that there's people that are watching this that are, saying, do I have the time to do this? When should I jump in? And they may still have some questions. So let's go over some of the common questions that they may have, and I'll let you take it away.
Sure thing. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Perfect. Okay. So I guess the most common question that we come across is, when does this actually start? What's the schedule going to be like for this upcoming class?
Okay, so this particular one is starting the evening of February 24th, which I believe is a Tuesday. From the time of recording this video, it's really not that far out. So again, these things will fill up. So we do typically a class on Tuesday night. We do a Q&A on Friday at lunchtime. The last time we did FunnelShop, we had students from 5 different continents. So again, there's no way to make it the perfect time for everybody coming in, and that's why we've created this very nice back office and put all the recordings there. But there's always time, the way things are done on this weekly schedule with 2 events a week, that everybody can still stay focused and stay caught up.
Absolutely. And I think you just mentioned that the classes will be recorded.
Absolutely. We'll usually get a recording out within a few hours of the class being delivered.
How long will they actually have access to the recordings?
Yeah, this is also a great question. The recordings will stay back there for a lifetime. And interestingly, this skill set, more than any of the other skill sets that we've seen in online marketing, is also the one that probably has the most longevity. So, when people promise you lifetime access to stuff, that's great, but how long is that training going to be current? we've seen time and time again that email marketing proves to be the granddaddy of them all. So having this skill set of being able to create a lead magnet, build a list, and email market to people, that is something that's going to serve you for many, many years to come. And the value of having this information there for a lifetime is absolutely huge.
So you had mentioned homework assignments a little bit earlier, Shecky. Tell us, can you expand
Yes,
on that?
there is homework. We find that we're not there to crack the whip or do anything, but this is a great opportunity for accountability, and we want students to be able to move through this process quickly and smoothly. So, we don't give you anything that you can't handle, and we don't give you anything that other students aren't doing, but we have typically every week a list of 3 or 4 things that you need to accomplish to be able to move forward in a foundational way so that you're ready for next week. As long as you're doing those few things, and even people with the busiest of schedules can get this stuff done. And we'll give you a checklist too to make sure that you can kind of check things off and you can see how you're doing in relation to the other students.
Are there any payment options for the class?
Yeah, so I've put this is my direct line to the office right up there, 5209772. So the answer is yes, kind of. There are some different options. If you have any kind of issues or questions or problems with the shopping cart in any way when you click on the enrollment link, by all means, please reach out to me, and we will do everything that we can to make sure that this is available to the greatest amount of students that we can. I mean, we're already putting a coaching program together for 5 to 10 times less what most other people do it. So I feel like we've done a really great job of lowering the barrier to entry for a coached program. But if you got any questions at all, please reach out to me, and I'll be happy to help any way that I can.
So are there any other resources that a student would need for this class?
Yeah, that's a good question. I had alluded to this early in the presentation. There are actually two utilities that we use, and these are like very simple software as a service. One is called Lead Pages, and that's what we use and train on for this class to building out opt-in pages, web pages, thank you pages, et cetera, et cetera. That is a monthly subscription. The standard version is fine. Also, we use Aweber for the email autoresponder. Neither of these are very expensive options. I think like between the two, you may be looking at $50 or $60 a month to have the two. Very simple. As far as links on where to get them, as soon as you enroll, you will get an email from us. Actually, it's from our autoresponder. And we will send you in that email the links as to how to be able to set up those other resources very, very quickly.
Very good. And so does it take any tech skills to set any of that up?
Well, coming from a baby boomer who really had 0 tech skills, now I would say I probably have some. But no, the answer is no. It's not. One of the things that I find really interesting is that a lot of people get hung up on that word technology. And the reality is nowadays, there is no programming anymore. Everything is in English. Now, yes, there's a bit of a puzzle there, and you have to learn where all the parts and pieces go. But if you can cut and paste and click save, then you can do this. If you can write in plain English, then you can do this. That's all there is. I mean, if you've ever saved a file to your computer, that's about the extent of the tech skills that you need.
Perfect. So when will enrollment for the upcoming class, when is it open? When does it close?
Okay, well, it's open now. If you're seeing this video and seeing the enrollment link below this video, then we are open. Now, again, keep in mind that many of our classes fill up from many of the strategy calls that I do with our new students. And they say, yes, I would like some extra help. So there are times when we actually run this class that you would never even see this video because it would not be available to everybody. So right now we have a few spots open in this upcoming class, which starts on the 24th. If the class fills up, now typically we're only going to take 20 to 25 people on a class because it requires a lot of personalized attention. If we get to a point where we see it filling up, we'll just cut off enrollment at any time. Otherwise, enrollment will stay open till, I guess, the later this week because, we've got a class. We're going to close enrollment a couple days before class starts, and then that's it. So if you are thinking at all that this is for you, then just enroll right now. I mean, there's really not anything to think about at this point. So hopefully that clears all that up. So you can have your sales funnel built and know how to test it in just 4 weeks. In fact, we're so confident that you'll benefit from taking this class that we're going to make the following outrageous offer to you. Go ahead and take the entire class, do the homework, and build out your funnel with our help. If you don't think it was amazing and you don't feel it was worth 10 times what you paid for it, let us know. We'll give you every penny of your money, and you can just keep the recordings for free. I can't think of a better way to assume all the risk on our end and make this more attractive to you. The price is normally $14.97, but right now we're doing a special test to see how this particular presentation is going to work in the marketing. So if you want to save over $500 right now, then go ahead, click the link below this video and get enrolled in FunnelShop today. We're absolutely certain you're going to love it. We're certain it's going to help you, and we look forward to hearing your feedback soon. Thanks a lot for watching this. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed putting it together for you. We look forward to seeing you in class. Go ahead and enroll in FunnelShop right now. You're going to absolutely love it, and if you don't love it, you don't pay a dime, and you can keep it for free anyway. Not many people will put their money where their mouth is like this, but we're so confident that you're going to benefit from this course and that you're really going to love it that we're willing to stick our necks out like this because we believe in you and we believe in this process. Together we can do great things, so join us in this class. Click the button below and enroll now. You have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. See you in class.